FBI and DHS on a weekly basis around the 2020 election. In a series of tweets, Matt Taibbi writes, Policy Director Nick Pickles is asked if the marketing department should say Twitter detects misinformation through human review and partnerships with outside experts. Pickles is told to say partnerships. Not sure we describe the FBI and DHS as experts, was the quote. Here to react, Harmeet Dhillon, CEO of the Center for American Liberty and candidate for RNC chair. More on that in just a moment here with Harmeet. But let's start with this topic, if we might. It's great to see you this morning. Thanks for being with us. What do you take away from this coordination between the FBI and Twitter?
Well, I'm not surprised by it because actually we filed 2 different lawsuits over the last several years over this issue of the censorship of Twitter and how Twitter's censorship doesn't line up with its own terms of service. I suspected that something was up, like many other conservative activists over time. I've also seen my engagement go up and down on a large account with several 100,000 followers, and I suspected it was because of political suppression. We learned it was true when I represented a client, Rogan O'Handley. Judicial Watch sent a Public Records Act request to the state of California and found that there are thousands of documents proving that California coordinated with Twitter and other social media companies to do exactly this. Now we've learned through Eric Schmidt's lawsuit and other AGs that the federal government coordinated as well. So from Fauci to the FBI and probably other federal agencies we don't know about yet, it is clear that this has been happening, and in my opinion as a First Amendment lawyer, it is a violation of the First Amendment for our government to collude and coordinate with private entities to suppress the speech of American citizens for political or any purposes, and it's outrageous. And so far, the courts have been resistant to allow these claims. We have one case pending in the Ninth Circuit right now after argument last week. But it is very important that all Americans realize the threat that is posed by big tech companies, which are now effectively the place that most of our discourse and our information even is received and takes place, are affecting and not just affecting and suppressing, but manipulating what we see. So we need to know more about this. There needs to be litigation. And in my opinion, there really needs to be accountability, including for these tech executives lying to Congress about what they did.
In fact, let's bore into that, Harmeet. Here is Jack Dorsey before Congress saying they do not, in fact, shadow ban conservatives.
Does Twitter censor the content of its users? Does it hide what it would consider inflammatory comments, whether they be social or political?
Absolutely not.
Has Twitter ever been involved in shadow banning?
We do not shadow ban according to political ideology or viewpoint or content, period.
Are we doing something according to political ideology or viewpoints? And we are not, period. We do not look at content with regards to political viewpoint or ideology.
Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans is bad. Is that true?
No.
You know, Harmeet, as I listen to that, and I'm thinking it through the lens of an attorney, as you would as well, my suspicion is Jack is playing word games in a lot of those questions. He's wondering, or he's trying to manipulate the definition of a shadow ban. But he was asked that question in many different environments, in many different ways, and he was unequivocal. We do not do what we now know they were doing, shadow banning conservatives. What type of accountability for those lies is possible?
Well, I mean, you know, you could have Congress call him back and, you know, maybe pursue some form of contempt or criminal referral for that, for lying under oath. Not only are they trying, the one I'm listening carefully, not only is he attempting to sort of parse the term of shadow ban, but maybe also parse the term of conservative. You know, conservative actor James Woods was in the Taibbi drop #1 and also the drop #3 yesterday. I don't think there's any question that they widely banned, shadow banned, deboosted, censored, even deplatformed conservatives specifically on the basis of their conservative ideology, affiliation, and viewpoint. And so I don't know if the feckless Congress, even on my side of the aisle, is going to be willing to do something about this, but they really should. And I'm expecting to see a flood of litigation as well.
Well, on that note, Harmeet, you're running for chairwoman of the RNC against Ronna McDaniel. You know, on this issue and many others, what type of change could you effectuate? What type of accountability could you, and what type of wins could you bring to the Republican Party?
Well, what I know is we've lost over the last 3 election cycles and 2 Georgia runoffs, and the losses are unacceptable, and our base is really fed up with it, and frankly are not turning out at the polls because of that. Excuse me. The RNC plays a very important role overall to raise money, to set the message, set the tone, to train our volunteers and our staff to get out the vote, and I think that we're not using the most modern methods to do that. What I know is that if we don't do something differently than we did in the last 6 years, we're not going to win in 2024. I'm hearing loud and clear from thousands of voters that our party is demanding change.